What's up and welcome back. I'm John Stark from BackToMovieGuy.com, your favorite blind film critic, and today we're going to talk about Audrey's Children. This movie does not have audio description, has no known audio description, and it's based on a true story, so you might be interested in seeing it. It stars Natalie Dormer, Clancy Brown, a couple of Jimmy Simpson, a couple other people. It doesn't really have a huge cast. It's mostly Natalie Dormer is the lead here, and it's based on on a true story of the this female doctor in the 60s who helped to sort of she was treating children with cancer and working on that, trying to develop some sort of protocol for how best to attack this disease that at the time had like a 90% death ratio. And even the 10% that survived, as she says in one speech, those kids had sort of like lifelong damage done to them. So nobody really ever came out of this clean. So she developed like a stage system for this. It's like neuroblastoma, something like that, something that kids get, like a sort of aggressive tumor. So she figured out stage 1, stage 2, stage 3, stage 4, and then stage 5, which they changed to stage 4S. And it says that it's about like her fighting, like sexism or whatever back in the day. Not really. The film it wants to be sort of very like sentimentally optimistic and warm-hearted and sort of pulling you in. So there's not a lot of my gender is up against yours type of thing. It's very much more of like a subtext in conversations, just like that she is a woman and there aren't any others around. She's a woman in a man's world, but she also helped develop the Ronald McDonald House, the first one that existed. So she did a lot for kids and for parents whose kids are battling cancer. And it's sort of like that life story. So did I like it? It's okay. I'm blind, so lack of audio description. Here, this is a period drama. It's a true story. It's a medical drama, so you're going to be missing some of those like medical elements and the sort of the let's do science in a lab type of things, because those are more visual, where they would usually tell you what's happening. There are some times where there's no dialogue and we're just breaking and there's music playing and I have no idea what's happening. Sort of the emotional weight of being able to sit there and realize that she's in a hospital full of kids with cancer really only hits you in the few scenes that she ever gets to talk to a kid that's there that has cancer. So it's not just like in the sort of ever present, just like walking through the hallways. She tries to be cheerful and warm with the kids. And there's a scene when she's not there and the kids are upset because she's not there, but they don't play that well enough. So there are a couple things that I clocked. I was like, well, that could have worked better. That could have pulled better. They wanted, at the end of the film, the original Audrey says that this film is for any parent who has a child who has cancer or who has had cancer, and hopefully this film will give them hope. That's a bit of an overstretch. I hate to say it. I don't think that this film is necessarily going to make anybody feel better. Because again, all due respect, this was the work that was done in the 60s. It's like 2025. So the fact that there was research that was being done in the 60s, I don't think it's going to make somebody now hopeful about their kid having cancer and surviving it here. Because it's not about research that's being done today. It's not a documentary about like the kinds of treatments and stuff that we're doing now that will help kids now. This is stuff that's already been done to get us to where we are now, which just sort of reminds you that your kid today is better off than they would have been, 60 years ago. But I don't necessarily know how that makes parents of kids with cancer feel any better about their current situation. So it's kind of an odd duck of a movie. It's just a light, sort of easy to take drama. I can understand why it's flown under the radar. It's hard to market. It doesn't even really take sort of like a Patch Adams take to it, where Natalie Dormer, like her performance is so uniquely and strong enough that it takes over the film, much the same way Robin Williams did with Patch Adams. For better, for worse. I know not everybody loves Patch Adams. Some people do. Like, to them, like, that's a tearjerker of a film. It's a little emotionally manipulative. I like it, generally because I like everything with Robin Williams in it, but most of his stuff works on me. There's a couple of films that I didn't like of his, but Patch Adams is one of the ones I did. So that's the closest comparison I can think of, and Patch Adams I think works better because it's a doctor working with kids, and that's immediately where my mind went. I think Natalie Dormer does fine with the performance, and the fact that she got to, I guess, meet the original Audrey I'm assuming, because the original Audrey has something that plays in the credits, so I don't know why they wouldn't have met. So there's a little bit of that. Well, I have to get this right because I know who this person is and their life story is amazing. And Natalie isn't always given a lot of lead roles, so it's an opportunity for her to really sink her teeth into something. Unfortunately, this is sort of directed like a Hallmark movie of the week. Not the way we have Hallmark movies now, but the ones that used to be on like CBS. It feels like that. It feels like a film that is just easy to take, not very offensive, historical. You'll learn some stuff and you'll be on your way. The audio description does kind of pull it down. The lack of audio description does pull it down a little bit for me because it was not my favorite experience in the world. And I think contextually, I was missing some things. But I also felt like I did learn some things because this is a story. It's based on true story. So I'm very divided on this film, and I'm putting it right where I couldn't figure out what to do with this movie, because I think it should have audio description. I think it would benefit from it. But at the same time, when I decided I was going to go ahead and review films that have no existing audio description for Rotten Tomatoes and go ahead and give them scores, because I assume that this is how you think that your film is so accessible inherently that I can consume it this way. That's not necessarily true for everything. So, would my experience have been better? Yeah, it would have been, because again, contextually, I would have had a much better experience, especially in the scenes where there isn't any dialogue or there isn't as much dialogue. I would have been able to appreciate her interactions with the kids a little bit more, which I think is sort of like the emotional crux of the movie. And also the acting choices. The AD team is really good at just helping to highlight performances. So there's just a lot here that I feel like would have been supported more. But it's to say this film is bad also feels kind of weird, because I don't think it's bad. I just don't think it's the kind of film that feels like it knocked you over. It's not the kind of film that stands out from the crowd. It's the kind of film though that you can put on, and I think people generally will like it. I don't know who doesn't. I don't know who would put this on and be like, no, I hate this. I mean, if you just like horror movies or something like that, well, this is very safe. So I'm going to give this a 6 out of 10, which is like the most barely fresh score, because I'm giving everything that's 6.0 and above fresh. So this is the film that I've decided to throw it out and say, well, this is barely crossing the threshold. Because at the end of the day, while I acknowledge that I needed the audio description for many purposes. I also did get something out of it, and I did not hate this movie at all. I appreciated what it was trying to do, and the performances are fine. It's just, it's not the kind of film where, even if I had it with audio description, it's not the kind of film that I'm going to have at the end of my year and like top 10 films of the year, Natalie Dormer for Best Actress. It's not directed that way. It's not set up that way. It's set up to be just kind of a safe film for everyone to watch and to learn a little bit about how childhood cancer research evolved and the Ronald McDonald House began. And that's it. So if you want to check it out, it's up to you. It's, you know, 6 is not like a, I get it, it's not like a warm score, but it's, we live in a world of fresh, rotten, thumbs up, thumbs down, yes, no. There is no gray area. So I'm going to choose yes. I'm going to choose fresh. I'm going to choose thumbs up for this one. So, but barely. Thanks for watching. Thanks for subscribing. And I will see you guys on the other side.